Earlier in the week, one of our chickens got attacked by a predator. We suspect it was one of the neighborhood dogs and it came underneath the fence back here. This is all way too overgrown. It's been overgrown for years since we bought the property and it's only gotten worse. So the objective for today is to get all this cleaned up, knocked back so that we can kind of feel a little bit more secure and deter predators from encroaching into our space. This little home light saw I'm running is far from a perfect product, but it's the best running little saw I have. I've got that chain just as tight as I can get it, and it's still a little too sloppy. I hopped off of there once, but so far, making decent progress, I guess. This is crazy about how many acres we're losing because of this tree encroachment along our property line. Check this out. So this is where we're working, and I mean, you see it, what it looks like, but when we go back in here, you can see, I mean, this is all just lost to us because of how bad these trees creeping over are. This needed to be done desperately, and I'm glad we're finally getting around to doing it.
I have so much scratch on me, so I'm tough.
All right, show me your scratches. Oh yeah, you get scratches there. You got scratches on your hands?
I know, I'm tough.
Show them, show me.
I'm so tough. I'm tough, Dad.
Good job. Those first few days after our rooster Mark was gone, we kind of flip-flopped from being sad to angry to mad and back to sad and then back to being frustrated, and it wasn't really pleasant for a few days there. Now, our farm animals are not pets, they're livestock. But just because they don't carry that pet label doesn't mean we don't care for them deeply. We're around these animals daily, and it hurts when they're gone. In John chapter 14, Jesus is dining with his disciples in what would later become known as the Last Supper. In verses 1 through 4, he says, "Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, that you may be also, and where I go you know, and the way you know." So when he's speaking to his disciples here, there are heavier things on all of their minds than some country boy losing his chicken to a predator. He's told them that he's going to die, that one of his friends in that room is going to betray him, and that before the night's over, they're all going to deny that they even know who he is. It's really heavy stuff. But in that moment, he's telling them, let not your heart be troubled. Don't despair. A lot of times as Christians, we tend to break out these verses in really hard times. Like, I had the honor and the privilege of reading these few verses at my grandfather's funeral a few years ago. It's important to remember that when things are really hard and really difficult, that we need to keep sight of what's most important. But I think we need to remember what's most important even when things aren't that bad. If Jesus tells us not to get worked up during the most trying and difficult times, what business do I have getting mad and frustrated in a moment such as this? We had kind of a rough few days here in our homestead. Instead of moping about it or throwing ourselves a pity party, we did our best to pick ourselves up and get to work, take care of the problem. We can use those feelings to push ourselves to provide a better, safer, healthier home for our animals. We can also use this as a chance to refocus on what is most important, that God loved the world so much that he sent his only son to suffer and die on our behalf. That's where I find the strength that I need to go through days, good and bad. Now with the fence row on this side cleaned up, we'll be turning our attention to that row back there. We're also going to give this huge pile of sticks here a chance to dry out before we just burn it, looking forward to getting that done because this is already an eyesore, but it does look a lot better having that fence row cleared up, and I can't wait to get that one done. We're going to be taking the fence out from kind of corner to corner right there, and that'll help open up all of that going back that way into our field and give us a kind of better access to the back four acres basically of our property. Thank you so much for hanging out with our family today. If you want to see more about what we're doing around here, make sure you click on that video, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much. God loves you. See y'all soon.